Hello, good afternoon and welcome to today's vlog for Friday the 12th of June. Hope everybody is well. No particular topic that I wanted to talk about today. So I'm just sort of going to go on to the work I've done with some elaboration on that. When we start this industry, I think one of the biggest questions that everybody asks is, what size van do I get? Small, medium or large? And there's no right answer. Excuse me. It will depend on the budget you have available to buy a van. It may boil down to what parking you have available at your house. All sorts of issues. And without doubt, I think we'd all probably agree, in an ideal world, if we could make lots of money with just a small van, we'd do that. My personal choice when I started was to get a large van. I think if you follow me, you know I almost sort of still have a craving to get back into class 1 work, but age, medical history, and just hours of work, I can't be bothered. So buying a large van was my sort of halfway go-between for me. But with large van work, and I think if I was to break it down, 40% of what I do is a large van, 20% is a medium van, and 40% would be small van. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm looking to do jobs that are easy. I'm looking to, obviously like all of us, to earn as much money as we possibly can for as little effort as we can. And without doubt, small van jobs are a lot easier. Quite often it's just 1 or 2 boxes. It takes almost 5 minutes to pick them up and 5 minutes to deliver. But then again, some of those jobs can be difficult because they could be into awkward places on high streets and stuff like that. It's a little bit of swings and roundabouts. With larger van work, I think there's more chances things can go wrong, and without doubt there can be more delays in loading and unloading, and in some cases, you know, making sure goods are secure for transit. So I'm just going to elaborate on the last couple of jobs I've done. Yesterday afternoon you left me on my way to Harlow to do a collection for delivery to Woodbridge in Suffolk this morning. I don't often name couriers, no particular reason. I obviously don't want to slander anybody, but in this occasion there's a little bit of praise. It's a company I've worked for probably a dozen times, I suppose, over the thing, and it's a company called B2B Renewables. Now, they are actually based within the collection point. It's a large warehouse and it's all solar equipment. This type of work, solar equipment, is a booming part of the courier industry. It's something new. People are latching onto it, wanting solar panels on their roofs and obviously generating electricity from themselves, and in some cases you can sell the electricity back to electricity companies. Much as like electric vans, it's not for me. I don't want solar panels on my roof. I'm far too old school with everything, to be honest, but for us as couriers, it's good work. Now, majority of that stuff is large vans. There are odd boxes that have been left off a delivery and the small van will come in and do that. I do this for B2B. There's other companies I do work for, and one of the biggest problems with this work is always the delivery. Anyway, yesterday I got on site. I've mentioned B2B are based within the collection point, so as you drive in, it's a company called Triple Solar, no secret. The guy from B2B is normally there in the area, and he will say hello and tell you where to park, and he also tells you how long you're going to be. It's a very, very busy place. I'm sure some of you may have picked up there. There's always an Arctic in there unloading solar panels or batteries or all sorts of stuff. There's also lots of vans. This guy has, I guess, I'm just guessing, I don't know, I think he's got quite a few drivers that actually sort of work on a regular basis for him. Work goes all over the country. Anything he can't cover, perhaps with his own drivers or his own subcontractors there, he puts on CX. Price wise is average. I'm not being harsh there. You could get more for the work, but you certainly could get less. Anyway, I was there for about half an hour, 40 minutes, no drama. He told me they were busy, and you could see they were busy. Eventually I get loaded, and the work is normally the same. It's a 2 metre long pallet containing the solar panels, and then there's normally a pallet up the front with the battery, which is very heavy, and other boxes of accessories. You might also be lucky and get some rails as well. That they're a bit of a pain. They're normally 3.6 metres long, so they have to go at an angle. But anyway, it all goes in, and it's no great drama. But it's the delivery where I've had issues with this type of work. This particular job to Woodbridge this morning, perfect. 8:30 was delivery time. Turned up at 8:30, residential delivery. I could see the house, I could see the scaffold, 3 guys on site, 2 of them helped, and we got all the stuff off within 25 minutes, paperwork signed, photos taken, no issue at all. But I've had times with this work with some of the other companies where I've turned up and delivery hasn't been as straightforward. The solar panel engineers are not on site. You might have a bricky, plasterer, a painter there, and you obviously can't offload this stuff yourself, and they're reluctant to help, but they appreciate it's all part of the renovation project that they're working on. And reluctantly they help you and get it done. I've had times where I've turned up and there's just been the resident of the house there. I had a lovely guy, a beautiful house, a lovely guy, but he was in his 80s, and I'm not much use and he wasn't much use, but between us we got the stuff off, stored it in his garage, and because the fitters weren't coming till the next day. I had once where a lovely lady, pregnant, 8 months pregnant, she couldn't help at all. Fortunately there was only 3 panels, it wasn't the big heavy battery, and I managed to do it all myself and put it where it is. But they're a pain. You can go back on and try and plead your case for some handballing charges, but you know, sometimes the offer of £10 extra is almost derisory. And one of the deliveries now has got a further complicated problem, and I've sort of almost refused to do the work now. You have to take the pallets away, which in most cases is a normal standard 1.2 by 1 pallet. That's not a problem. You can keep that on the van and you can easily get rid of that probably at the next collection point. But it's the 2 metre long pallet. Companies don't want it. You can't literally just dump it on the side of the road. I'm not going to do that. That's not me. Even the pallet guy down at Thurrock Services will give you £5 for a pallet. If you don't know, he's in the truck park. As you go in, just go into the first bit of the truck park, and he's a guy there, and he'll pay you for pallets. A lot of the European drivers are quite happy to get rid of 20, 24 pallets they've got on their truck they don't want, or in some cases they need to buy pallets. He doesn't particularly want the 2 metre pallet either. So I've almost started to refuse to do this because I don't need a pallet left on my van that's going to give me aggravation. Anyway, I'm sort of digressing, but that works okay. It's good work, but it can be a pain. But we got that job done. Yesterday afternoon, after I'd collected, I got a message from a regular shipper that I do work for. Was I available? I said to him, I'm delivering to Woodbridge at 8:30, and he said, well, I've got a job to go from Clacton-on-Sea to Waltham Abbey. Are you interested? And yes, he said there are 6 large boxes. Each one contains a dining table, 40 kilos each, but they're awkward. He said we won't have a problem getting them loaded. We may have a problem getting them delivered because the customer has asked for assistance. So he said what I'll do, he said I'll give you some extra money for getting them all on and handling and at the other end, but I need to get another driver to meet you there at the delivery. Not a great problem. It's not for me to organise the other driver, and he's a good shipper. If there's any issues waiting time, he'll sort me out. So delivered to Woodbridge this morning. The job at Clacton was booked for 10:30, but I was there at 9:30. That was fine. Everybody's in the loop. Got the boxes loaded. They were heavy. Me and another guy loaded them. One of those things that they're sitting on a pallet. I don't know why we couldn't put them on a pallet in the truck, but anyway, it doesn't matter. You load the first one, it's coming off the top of the pallet onto the bottom of the floor, but when you get to the bottom, of the 6, and you've got to lift it up high. It came a little bit more tricky, but we got it all done. Took 20 minutes or so, got them all strapped down, 2 straps over that, make sure they don't shift down the van, and on our way with an ETA to be in Waltham Abbey for 11:45. Got there at 11:30. About 20 past 11 I got a message with a phone number and a registration for a driver that was going to meet me there. Rang the driver when I got there, and he then tells me, oh, I'm not going to do this, I don't really want to do it, I've just spoken to your guy and told him so. So great, thought we might have a problem. Rang my contact, and he was a bit frustrated with it all, but I said, look, don't worry, I'm going to go in and see the guys and then see if we can get the stuff off. It was a warehouse as such. It was a bit strange as to why extra help was needed, but it's not for me to question. Anyway, went in to see the guys in the warehouse, and to be honest, they never had a problem. They said, no, back the van in, and between us all we'll get it all off, and they did. Took all of 10 minutes. I was happy. The shipper said to me, offer them a drink, and we'll stick it on the bill, but I did offer, and no, they said, no, it's fine mate, don't worry, it's our job, it's what we do. So it was all done, and I'm off site 10 to 12, spoke to the shipper. He was more than grateful that a second help wasn't needed, either on site or to bring one in, and he stuck another 20 quid on it. So in the end I did that job for well, it was a small van job, but it went in a large van, 70 odd miles, and I got initially 110, but he paid me 130. Fantastic, what a great job. But again, it's a little bit of stress and a little bit of aggravation, and you know, this all could go wrong, but it didn't. And having a large van, it all worked out. So that job was done. It was just before 12 o'clock. Looking for work, there was another job that came up from Romford, 25 minutes away, windscreen job, and again I'm sure many of us have done those, going up to Colchester. I put £60 on it. I think it's, what is it, 40 miles? Not even, yeah, about 40 miles. He rang me, he said, I've got 55 in it, can you do it? And I said, yeah, it's fine. I've earned my extra money on the other job. I'm not going to moan about £5. I'm going back to Colchester. It's Friday. I've had a busy week. I've had a good week. So I said, yeah, fine. So I've been round to Romford. It's just by the Gallows Corner development, but you can get there without any problems with the diversions. Picked the windscreen up, sitting in blankets, wrapped in blankets. I'm on my way to Colchester. Going to be there for about 20 to 2. It will take a few minutes to get that off, paperwork done, signed, uploaded, and that's going to be it. I'm not going to do any more work. I'm going to go home. I'll be home for 2:15. I think I'm going to go for a walk and stretch the legs, because it's been all go busy today, not really had a break. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to do all my paperwork. I normally do it all on a Sunday. I've got a busy weekend, so I'm going to get that done this afternoon. Wife's working from home, so no doubt she will make me a nice cup of tea and a bit of cake. And yeah, it's been okay. It's been a good day. So that'll be 130 and 55, 185. I think that's just top of my head. I think I've just made the £1,000 mark, which for me for a week is unusual. I know that's the sort of figures many of you will want as an absolute minimum, but for me I'm normally around the 800, 850 mark. So I'll have a look at it. I'll come back with my stats on Monday. But yeah, it's been a good week, but it is June. It is a time of year where we'd expect it to be busier, so happy with that. I've got a full week next week the same, so that would be nice if we can repeat that. The week after I've got a bit of a hit and miss week, but that's more to come in the future. Anyway, going to leave it there. I hope you had a good day and a good week. I hope you have a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing. And as always, thanks for watching and subscribing and liking, etc. And we'll talk next week. All the best. Cheers, Paul.